Imagine if I told you that the most explosive moment in hip-hop and love history didn't occur on camera but rather occurred live, unscripted, and in real time, with Mendeecees Smith yelling, sobbing, and dragging Menek and Eric Mena into hell without any prior notice or glamour. You heard the internet short circuit, thousands of people watching, no one blinking, and Mendy seeing the man she held down through jail trouble and disrespect. Tune in tonight. Only a shaking voice, puffy eyes, and the words that landed like a bomb. Erica slept with my man. There was silence, but then he got up in the middle of the sentence and went like he was fleeing a crime scene. There was no apology or denial, just a slammed door and a broken woman with the truth. Was this a breakdown or the most honest confession in reality TV history? Oh, she brought me deleted texts, voicemail backups, even hotel surveillance footage. And just when you thought things couldn't get any uglier, Erica herself added the most offensive message we've ever seen. This wasn't a fight. Rather, it was a digital assassination. And we can trust that hold on tight because this live meltdown just escalated into a full-fledged conflict. It began with a wobbly Instagram live notification that brought hundreds of people running into turmoil, complete with a ping, no teaser, ad, or filter. Mendeecees Smith's barefaced hair was streaked, and she was visibly trembling as she gazed into the front-facing camera as if she had seen a ghost. And then, without hesitation, she whispered the words that stopped everyone watching. Erica slept with my man. The conversation fell dead for 3 seconds, during which no one moved or commented. No likes or emojis, just startled quiet, followed by chaos in a matter of minutes as tens of thousands of people watched the live stream. They began screen recording as if their life depended on it, and gossip blogs, fan pages, timestamps, and comments from the shade room were all posted. When section exploded, Mendy didn't hold back. She wasn't calm, she wasn't practiced, she was ruined. With her arms crossed and her eyes down, she saw Harris, the man she had been referring to and who had given her a 10-year reputation as a family man. She snapped Mendeecees, who didn't react or blink, but just sat there staring at the floor, like this. The redemption story-doing spouse was suddenly at the center of a messy cheating scandal that even VH1 couldn't create. Let's take a moment to set the scene. According to Mendeecees, she had suspicions about this treachery for months, if not years, and the guilt was dragging him down by the throat. This wasn't simply a typical hip-hop and love feud. Producers supposedly canceled a cast trip that never aired because there was too much chaos, such as Eric Mena being overly friendly with Mendy. But as the cameras stopped filming, Andy recalled everything that had happened during the live event. Strange feelings, late-night talks, and eye contact that lasted a little too long. "I thought I was just being paranoid," she said, wiping her face with her hoodie sleeve. "But I should have trusted my gut." This was followed by when the receipts arrived. She began to explain how she had discovered it by looking through his cloud storage on a hunch and discovering deleted texts from Erica among innocent pictures and old notes. One of them said, quote, "You taste better than I remember." Yandi's hand struck the couch, and her voice broke as she turned to face Mendy, who had yet to speak. "He told me it was a mistake," she whispered, gritting her teeth. But that one night ruined everything the internet had. Fans weren't merely observing, they were actively involved. Errors appeared in real time. Andy speaks. Erica exposed. Mendeecees messed up. People were divided. Some claimed Mendeecees was going into a downward spiral, while others claimed she was finally speaking her mind. Reality. But there was no denying the unvarnished nature of it all. This wasn't a staged TV drama. Rather, it was a woman's live unraveling in front of the world. She held up her phone and struggled to take screenshots, her hands shaking too, much for her to scroll properly, so I had to search for it. She claimed that he erased it and attempted to conceal it as if it would disappear. She dropped the phone in the middle of her sentence, and Mendy moved to assist her in picking it up, but she swatted his hand away with the kind of rage that only treachery can engender. "Don't touch me!" she shouted. Then she disclosed the incident that proved it all. One night during the cast trip, she had a headache and went to bed early. Mendeecees stayed downstairs with the other crew members, including Erica, and Yandandi claims that's when it happened. "I told you earlier that I can't even recall half of that night because Yundi was moving so quickly that it's a wonder the phone didn't fall off the stand." Oh, you don't remember. Which is amusing since she does. She remembers everything, even the position bang. Internet. Go mines burned. Twitter. Burnt Yandandi, but she wasn't finished. She began tagging people, accusing Erica of being phony for posing as her friend and calling Mendeecees bro for seeming like a sister while secretly planning. "I allowed that lady in my," she sobbed, "played with my kids, and plotted while she was at home." Then, in the most bizarre turn of part 1, her phone buzzed once again. A direct message appeared on the screen. Her face altered, her voice fell, and she truly did it. She turned the phone toward the camera so the world could see. He folded it, and as Yundi read it aloud, her jaw dropped open, and her eyes went blank with amazement. "You think this is a game," she said quietly. "You really think this is funny? I see now that it was a message from Erica," she added. Just 5 words. No apology, no explanation. "Not my fault. Lost it." She threw the phone across the room, and it cracked against the wall. The conversation stopped, and Mendy got up. The man didn't say anything, didn't apologize, didn't justify himself. He just gave her one last look before leaving on camera, and the door softly closed behind him. However, part 1 finished with a last thud. A broken lady was sitting by alone in her own house, broadcasting her anguish to the world in real time, while the man she had stood by for years left without saying a word. If you were hoping for a climax, that wasn't it. The door had just snapped shut behind Mendy's eyes, but Yandandi didn't flinch. Her body was still, her eyes wide, her hands shaking in her lap. The entire live stream hung in anticipation, but that was only the surface, because what occurred next would completely upend the internet once more. She muttered softly, "Wow, that's it. You just walk away," as thousands of people watched on, the edge of their seats, wondering whether she was going to lose it or damage something. It was a gut feeling rather than a question. Punch a woman as she watches the man she has supported through prison, adultery, child support disputes, litigation, and more leave, as if her tears were insignificant background noise. The conversation then erupted once more. "Stay strong, Queen. He never deserved you to drop the complete receipts. We were prepared, and she did." With her lips held firmly together, she leaned forward, wiped her eyes, and took her phone from the floor to scroll. "You want to know why this hurts? Because I defended both of them people," she inquired. "For months they warned me, but I kept saying, 'Nah, not Erica.' She had her own mess, but it turned out that she was making mine worse." She put on a voice memo, the audio not being very clear, but it was clearly Erica laughing, saying gently, "What happens in Miami stays in Miami unless he leaves his damn voicemail saved." Yandandi stared straight at the camera, which captured the weekend when he vowed nothing happened, and he saw that she had emailed him the video. It wasn't just a disaster. It was surgical betrayal receipts, audio, eyewitness details, and even confessional body language. Then, in a sudden turn of events, Yundi's phone rang. Her voice cracked, and this idiot forgot to remove it, which was the last picture for thousands of viewers. She glanced at the name on the screen, and the entire discussion froze again. She picked up the phone while it was still live, and she spoke just 3 words. "I saw it." There was a delay on the line, and then the lawyer's voice weakly came through. This time, it wasn't Erica or Mendy, and it wasn't even a castmate. "We need to chat too." "Now," Yandandi nodded, sending everything to my email. I'll finish this." She hung up and turned back to the camera. She asked for security camera footage of the hotel corridor where they were meeting. She wasn't kidding. Somehow someone had leaked it. Mendy saw us leaving a room, and seconds later Erica pulled the door shut and reached for his hand. He didn't protest, didn't even appear surprised, and simply strolled beside her as if everything were usual, according to grainy black and white CCTV film from a Miami hotel. She laughed hollowly. "You see that?" Yandandi remarked. "That's not a one-time mistake. That's comfort. That's familiarity. This is the man who had me standing up for him in front of courts, blogs, and my own children. The lady who grinned in my face while planning this from the beginning. And just when you thought the twists were ended, Erica went live. Yes, exactly. While Yandi was still unraveling online, Erica Mina appeared on her own Instagram Live, with her face beat and hair laid. Looking smug, Yandandi scoffed as she saw the notice, thinking, "Oh, now she got something to say." She then dragged Erica's live stream onto a second screen, where she saw the woman say, "Look, I didn't plan to go live, but since my name's already out." The words, "If your man was truly happy at home," Erica continued. "Nothing I did or said would have mattered. He wouldn't have entertained me." "There, let's talk about it." Yandandi almost flung her phone, saying, "So now she's blaming me." She stopped, her face turning icy, and said, "No, we're not doing that." She began applauding as she said, "I let you. When Safari left you, I sat with you and monitored your pain. While I was doing that, you were planning against my husband, and the emotion changed from grief to rage. I should have known the moment she began phoning him. I allowed you to cry to me about your broken marriage. The thing that broke me the most, though, was when Yandi's voice softened. She picked up her phone once more and read a text message from her oldest child, asking a straightforward question. Are you and your father getting along? Divorced, the remarks made my heart stop. How do you respond to that? How do you tell your child that the man you told them to admire couldn't even keep it together behind closed doors? She questioned the crowd. I'm done protecting people. Who wouldn't even cross the street to protect me, she said, pacing now with stronger steps and a grave tone. I've covered for him for years, and this isn't even the first time. In fact, it's not even the second. The room was silent once more. I swallowed my pride and forgave things that no one should have forgiven. Because I believed that if I loved him enough, he would stop. But I was in love with a man who had already shown his devotion to everyone but me before she left. In the climactic moment of part 2, Andy looked into the camera one last time and said, You want the truth? This man has been cheating with several women. I asked him for their names, but he couldn't even provide me with them all. Simply, she took a breath and shrugged, as if it weren't stunning anymore. Then, like a funeral bell, she continued, I don't even know who I've been married to all these years. And the conversation implored her not to log out, not to stop talking, and not to lose her. Fire took a seat again, picked up her phone and muttered, I won't be Mrs. Harris the next time you see me. The instant she said, I won't be Mrs. Harris the next time you guys see me. The internet users went into full meltdown mode, turning comment sections into battlegrounds, and everyone watching saw that this was more than just drama anymore. This was the breakdown of a 10-year relationship playing out in real time as Andy leaned forward and breathed heavily. She didn't cry this time, and she didn't shake, but something inside of her had changed. Instead of grief on her face, it was clarity from her phone. You could see her chest rising with each breath, as if she was trying to prevent herself from breaking apart again. Hey girl, what the hell is going on? I woke up and you're all over my damn timeline, Mama D Yandandi said wearily as she answered the buzzing phone once more. Mama D's voice was quick, harsh, and fiery. And indeed, Yandandi gave a feeble laugh. You're acting like you've never done this before. And Erica is out here acting like she hasn't. Tell me about it, Mother D. I didn't miss a beat. I told you about that man, didn't I? He was slicker than church shoes on wet tile. You were right. I didn't want to watch it. Now listen, what are you going to do next, baby? Mama D lowered her voice and groaned, I've already talked to my lawyer. That was enough. She may have had an answer, but it was still too painful to express aloud. Then it's time to start over. After saying thank you and hanging up, she played the video. Yes, the hotel security footage that had been in her inbox for precisely 10 minutes, that no one could dispute. She turned the screen to face the camera, which was still live, and hit play. In the shaky video, Mendeecees emerged from a poorly lit hallway after straightening his shirt. A moment later, Erica followed his hair down without fear or shame and reached for his hand. He didn't recoil or pull away, and they strolled together in silence as if they had done so before. I gave this man my life, my loyalty, and my identity. And this is what he was doing behind my back. When he paused the film and looked directly into the camera, that's what treachery looks like. There was no music or showmanship, just plain, unadulterated evidence. Then she dropped the one. The comments were now flying quicker than the screen could keep up with the sentence that sent the chat into cardiac arrest. And this wasn't even the first lady he had done it with while I was parenting his children. Andy had been keeping this in the Girl Go file. But now that Erica is finished, she dumped the, I didn't want to embarrass him, I didn't, she added, continuing to scan through receipts, screenshots, dates, voicemails, deleted messages, hotel, confirmations, and even Uber ride summaries after opening a folder on her phone called Backed Up. I remained silent to protect him. Wished to destroy my family, but in reality, he did it all by himself. She disclosed that months prior she had learned about another crew member who had a husband of her own. I contacted her, and you know what? I was unaware that you two were still together, he said. Yandi shook her head, pointing out that he is a victim who pretends to be single in order to obtain what he desires, then leaves before the reality is revealed. And then, right at that moment, another notification appeared, this time about a video conference. Yandandi hesitated. Her jaw clenched. Her finger hovered over the refuse button. But instead of declining, she picked up Erica's face, which dominated the screen with a serene, smug look as if she hadn't just. Erica stepped closer to the camera and added, You started this when you said my name. Don't act surprised I'm here. You look tired, she continued, pretending to grin. Rough night? Yandi's face didn't move. You really want to do this now? Erica rolled her eyes and said, Please, if your man was loyal, this conversation wouldn't be taking place. You blew up my family. The tone of Yandi's voice sank. You find this amusing? No, Erica said. I believe Yandandi got up and started pacing, saying, That woman is sick. And trust me, this is far from over. Then, in a pitiful turn of events, her phone buzzed. You want compassion from the same people you used to lie to about how beautiful your marriage was, girl. She turned to the camera and stated, You don't get to blow up my life, disappear, and then call when the pressure hits you, had your chance, you blew it. After a moment of silence, Mendy noticed that she hadn't spoken. I'm done. The chat was in, a meltdown, with celebrities crying in the comments, and she removed her wedding ring, brought it up to the camera, and dropped it on the table. The clink was louder than any scream she'd let out all night. Reposting the live stream, memes were already starting to form, and she remarked, I'm doing an exclusive full story, no edits, no PR, just truth, shortly before she ended the video. However, the storm was far from done, with repercussions and aftermath that same evening affecting Yandi's press team. Declared in a statement that she had filed for separation and would be exploring her legal options in relation to emotional anguish and public defamation. She was also thinking about requesting a cease and desist against Erica for her harassment and meddling on family social media. In the meantime, Tammy Rivera tweeted, "I knew it, always trust your gut, sis," while Candy Boris shared a video from the live event with the message, "Respect is louder than love." The hashtags Tammy Andy, not Erica Aim is cancelled. Release Andy from Mount Heli 7 were everywhere. Erica, on the other hand, doubled down and shared a mirror picture with the remark, "You can't ruin what's already rotted," after Mendeecees posted a black screen on his Instagram story with the words, "I failed. I lost everything too little, too late." The reality producers distanced themselves from her. Showrunner meetings were cancelled, and some of her own followers even turned against her endorsement deals. Meanwhile, Yandandi secured an exclusive sit-down interview with a big site. She stated, "I believed in him, but I won't bleed for someone who keeps cutting me." By the end of that week, Yandi's following had doubled. Her brand sales had skyrocketed, and she had a straightforward background devoid of tears and just focused on the facts. Established a foundation for women overcoming emotional abuse, and Mendeecees saw that she was alone without a ring, camera team, or Erica. In an instant, one life, one truth bomb, and a legacy based on love, family, and forgiveness turned to ash. Now we question, where do we even go from here? Not only did Yandandi drop a bomb, but she also revealed the entire war receipts, exposed lies, shattered marriages, and left the globe reeling from what transpired in front of millions of people. What we want to know is if you think Yandandi was the strongest character in this story and whether Mendy was deceived, or if Erica was indeed the antagonist, or just another sign of a relationship that was already failing. This wasn't reality TV. This was reality, period, and it's dirtier, raw, and more terrible than anything VH1 could ever screen. Tell us in the comments if you're on Yandandi's side, or if this was a time in her life, or the breaking point that should have happened years ago. If Erica were permanently removed from the world of love and hip-hop, either Team Mendeecees or Team knew what they were doing. Should Yandandi go or stay? Defending the family she established, we go over each comment and have faith in your if you want more genuine, your opinion matters. Unfiltered, raw tea such as this hit the like button, subscribe, and smash that alert bell, as this isn't, not by a long shot, but additional footage is. More people are coming out with leaks, and the whole truth is only begun. Pay attention, stay locked in, and above everything, remain prepared for this. Drama is still cooking.